You awaken to the harsh scrape of metal against stone, a sound that echoes through the dim chamber like a foreboding omen. The faint morning light seeps through the narrow slit of a window, casting long shadows across the earthen floor. There stands your father, his broad frame silhouetted against the glow, methodically honing his dagger with slow, deliberate strokes, each one a reminder of the unyielding world beyond these walls. In the corner, your mother huddles, her form bent like a willow in storm, her fingers dancing feverishly over rosary beads, murmuring prayers that dissolve into the heavy air, words too soft to grasp yet laden with desperation. The atmosphere clings to your skin, thick with the acrid tang of lingering smoke from the hearth and an undercurrent of palpable fear, as if the very stones whisper secrets of what is to come. Today marks your wedding day. You are but 12 years of age. The silk gown your mother has painstakingly stitched hangs limply from a wooden peg, resembling not a garment of joy but a samba shroud. Its rich blue hue, achieved through precious indigo that drained your family's grain reserves for 3 arduous months, symbolizes the profound sacrifices ahead, the forfeiture of your innocence, your identity, your autonomy, your very will. In mere hours, you will be escorted to the altar, not as a cherished partner, but as a traded asset, a breathing covenant forged in flesh and obligation, uniting 2 lineages in a pact rooted not in affection but in sheer necessity for endurance. This union bears no resemblance to the enchanted tales of folklore or the tender romances of our era. It embodies marriage as it prevailed through vast epochs of human existence, a stark exchange where women served as barter, children as instruments of alliance, and mortality often the sole liberation from a bond initiated in coercion and concluded in the earth. Before we delve deeper into these veiled chronicles of resilience amid anguish, if you find fascination in unveiling history's concealed realities, I invite you to express your appreciation by engaging with this content, perhaps through a simple affirmation or by joining our community of seekers. Share in the comments the corner of the world from which you join us. It astonishes me how these timeless narratives bind us across distances, united in our collective quest to illuminate the shadows of yesteryear. The marriage contract lies unfurled upon the rough-hewn wooden table, its ink resembling veins of doom in the flickering candlelight, a decree as inexorable as fate itself. Sir Geoffrey de Montfort, at 43 years, newly bereaved of his spouse, lord over 3 estates and 200 bound serfs, demands a bride forthwith. Enter Lady Matilda, aged 11, offspring of Sir William de Clare, accompanied by a dowry of 50 marks in silver, her lineage echoing back to the throne of King Edward. The deliberation spanned 3 grueling days, not due to intricate clauses, but as your father bartered fiercely to extract every conceivable gain from your disposition. You, after all, represent his paramount possession, pliable in youth, promising in fecundity, exalted in ability to ascend his house's station. That you have yet to encounter your intended spouse holds no weight. That you still clutch wooden dolls and play is a mere hindrance, not an impediment. Medieval matrimony diverged profoundly from contemporary ideals. It was no partnership of peers in mutual selection, but a juridical and fiscal compact among kin, frequently brokered while the bride yet lay in cradle cloths. The Catholic Church, which in later times would exalt wedlock as a hallowed sacrament, throughout much of the medieval age regarded it as a grudging concession to mortal frailty, a bulwark against the graver transgression of illicit desire. Among noble maidens in the High Middle Ages, the customary age for espousal ranged from 12 to 14. For those of humbler birth, it inclined towards 16 to 18, not from reverence for youth's sanctity, but because indigent households required their daughters toil longer and lacked means for lavish endowments. Yet, across strata, the essence endured. Matrimony befell women as an imposition, seldom as a volition. Your mother's trembling hands falter as she secures the wooden buttons of your bridal attire, each etched with your family's heraldic emblem, a swan transfixed by an arrow, a motif that now strikes you as eerily prophetic, evoking vulnerability pierced by inevitability. She has been wed to your father for 16 years, bound at 13 to a stranger unveiled only on that fateful morn. She has delivered 9 offspring, of which 5 defied infancy's perils. She speaks not of passion, but of obligation, deference, and the artful steering through a spouse's tempers. Remember, she breathes, her voice a warm murmur against your ear, laden with the weight of unspoken trials. A wife must flow as water does, conforming to the vessel that confines her. Defiance yields naught but sorrow. The nuptial rite unfolds as a communal pageant, crafted to render the pact indelible. Unlike today's ceremonies, medieval weddings were scarcely ecclesiastical affairs. The church's role was peripheral, perchance a cleric's benediction at the portal ere the court proceedings commenced. The essence lay in attestation, in societal validation of a transference duly executed. You were paraded through the village lanes like a lamb to offering. The populace assembled not in jubilation but in solemn observation. In an era where literacy eluded most, such spectacles etched collective recollection. These villagers destined to recall this juncture, to affirm it should disputes arise over your bond's validity or your progeny's entitlements. Father Benedict, the priest, positions himself at the church threshold, his countenance etched as if from granite, having overseen myriad such rituals, witnessing innumerable youths guided to altars akin to sacrificial beasts. His Latin incantations cascade over you like indifferent rain, arcane phrases that irrevocably bind your destiny. Wilt thou take this man to be thy wedded husband, to have and to hold, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part? Consent eludes you. As a child-in-law's eyes, despite budding womanhood, your father assents in your stead, as he has dictated every pivotal choice heretofore. Your utterance, a faint "I will," scarcely rivals the breeze. Thus, Sir Geoffrey advances to seize his acquisition. To you, he is an enigma, yet one that haunts your slumbers. You've overheard murmurs of his prior consort, perishing in travail at 15, her form oft marred by contusions, waning to spectral quietude in her final days. He appraises you now with a gaze akin to a yeoman inspecting fresh stock, gauging vitality, lineage promise, endurance. The band he affixes to your digit is forged of iron, not aureate splendor, burdening your slender hand with its heft. Iron selection was intentional, economical yet emblematic, resilient, inflexible, timeless, mirroring matrimony's chains, forged to endure unbroken. Post-rite, the banquet ensues, a macabre revelry honoring your captivity's dawn. Your father's grand hall bedecked in evergreen boughs and sputtering torches, tables straining beneath roasted viands, pale loaves, and frothy ale. The assemblage, all mature souls complicit in the day's deeds, hoist goblets to fecundity, lineage perpetuation, the alliance's bounty. Perched beside your novel lord, your feet dangling from the elevated seat, he queries sporadically on your tutelage, constitution, monthly fluxes. Responses emerge in fragments, dread muting your tongue. Your repast cools untouched, as nausea coils within. As dusk deepens, diversion commences. A wandering bard intones ballads of courtly amour, ethereal sagas of chivalrous knights and noble dames, fervent devotions. The incongruity pierces you. These idealized fables of ardor bear no kinship to matrimonial verity. They are illusions, flights from a realm that rendered authentic affection nigh unattainable within wedlock's confines. Courtly love, as manifest in medieval Moors, thrived extraconjugally. The troubadours of meridional France, originators of such romantic archetypes, crooned of liaisons betwixt cavaliers and wedded gentlewomen, passions inflamed by prohibition and chastity. The church decried these notions, yet they endured, furnishing sentimental release in a milieu where unions were starkly mercantile. The cult of courtly love unveiled a sombre verity of medieval matrimony, so barren of intimacy that society birthed an alternate paradigm for what we term romantic attachment. Wedlock concerned duty, estate, and propagation. If affection bloomed, it did so clandestinely, defying societal edifice.